Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. I'm your host Tom Dunn, and we're at City Hall today, and we are having a People Making a Difference award ceremony. And being honored are Orbean Carpenter and Jim Daniels, and their long service to the United States of America and to the city of Port Hueneme.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be done by Seaman Apprentice Christopher Williams of the Naval Sea Cadets.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we'll have Don Holmes sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag were still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Wonderful.
Lord, we are grateful for you providing us a wonderful, wonderful day today to honor two distinguished individuals here in this city of Port Hueneme. And we can tell by the people that are attending here today that these two great individuals are great loved by everyone here in our community. So thank you for giving us such a beautiful day, and please continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone can sit in seats. Chief, I didn't forget to. As most of you know, the Hueneme Museum tells the long history of Hueneme and its citizens. The museum needs volunteers. Our goal is to be open 7 days a week. We need volunteers, and some of you, or any of you, could help us. I would like to thank Tama Fig, Patty Barr, Tom Dunn, Naval Sea Cadet, Ben Morrell Battalion, Hueneme, Roberta Downing, Mayor Tom Clegg, Oxnard Harbor District Commissioners and staff, Stephen Gama, Rich Rollins, the Carpenter family, the Stewart family, the Daniels family, Rod Butler, Carmen Nichols, Rick Ash, Joe Reed, Gloria Pell, Kelly Long and staff, Jackie Irwin and staff, Julia Bromley and staff, John Flynn, Beverly Kelly, Ron Watts, City of Hueneme and staff, whose help made this event possible. With the American Revolution and the French Revolutions, our two countries changed from people being subjects to people being citizens. We discarded the belief that titles, who your family was, and how much wealth you have described who you were as a person. People Making a Difference was designed to recognize those who are helping our community through involvement in our community. It takes on an ordinary title so people can see there are those among us who work every day to help our community and its citizens in Hueneme and the County of Ventura. Our city has been blessed, excuse me, that's one way to cut it short. Best laid plans. Oh, here we go. Our city has been blessed by many people who believe in service above self. Today we will be recognizing Georgia and Orvine Carpenter, Master Chief Jim Daniels, retired. Chief Daniels has served his nation and the city of Hueneme for many years. I describe the chief as someone who plugs himself into an electrical socket at night, charges up, and arises fully charged and ready to help others. Georgia Carpenter is a very loving person, a great mother and grandmother, and has helped her husband, Orvine, accomplish so many things in their years together. Orvine, who I've always seen as the ultimate diplomat, is a great role model for success. Orvine also has the best genes for looking young, which I was not blessed with. Today you will hear about these people and their accomplishments. Now I'd like to welcome retired county supervisor, my friend and fellow person at the gym, John Flynn.
Well, this is quite an honor for me to be here today to celebrate with Orvine and Jim. And you might notice that I look quite a bit younger than they do. I joined the Army in 1952, a little after they did, but they still look very distinguished. And my congratulations to you. The reason I'm here today is I did represent Fort Hueneme for a spell of time from 1972 through the mid-'80s. And at that time I met Jim Daniels and Orvine Carpenter. And my memory of the city is very vivid because it was such a well-kept city. If you look at the city today and you look at the city of the past, it's a very clean city as you compare it to other cities, even in Ventura County. Pardon me for saying that. I actually worked for Orvine one time when I graduated from UCSB and had a family of 4 already. And Orvine was the postmaster, and I got a job as carrying letters for the city of Hueneme. Orvine was a very good boss. I never actually saw him. But I do know carrying mail is not an easy job. And so I remember that very vividly. And I carried one of the letter carriers you'll remember, Jim, or Orvine, and that is Robert And he was a very tough guy to follow because everything had to be exactly correct. So I was always nervous that I was going to make a mistake. But the controversy we had in those days was over a building here in Hueneme with the Oxnard Harbor District. In those days, I'm making a comment here that may not be actually you're in agreement with, but the city of Hueneme did not get along as well with the Harbor District. And I got right in the middle of that because I served on the Coastal Commission and voted for a project that favored the Port of Hueneme. And I can just imagine what might have taken place in closed sessions of the council chambers because Dick Belphone, who was the city manager at that time, really scolded me heavily. And I know he did it with the permission of the city council. I'll leave you with one last thought because you have several speakers. I ran against Doral Wright for city county supervisor in 1980. And at that time, Orvine was his chairman. Orvine and I have been very good friends all through these years, but he was the chairman. And I remember thinking, well, how will I beat how will I beat both of these guys? They're very popular. So I decided to walk Hueneme Bay, knowing that I could win Hueneme Bay. I never have when I walked precincts for other candidates, and I knew I wouldn't win it then. But if I got started and walked to Hueneme Bay, it would make the former mayor who ran against me make him very sensitive about it. He would decide to walk all that himself, even though he was going to win it. So I kept him busy while I walked the rest of Hueneme. Anyway, with those words, I want to commend you. You have a great biography. I read both, and congratulations on your service to the people of the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, County Supervisor John Flynn. It's an honor to have you here. Now I'd like to have Captain Bob Quinn come up and speak.
Thank you, Larry. I'm not sure what I did wrong that Larry seems to tag me to participate in every strange event he comes up with. But since strange events and me seem to go together, I guess that's appropriate. My task this morning is to fill in a few of the details on Jim Daniels that you might not know. I've known Jim for an awful long time and came up with some information that I hadn't known before. I wasn't around when he was born, but came close. John Flynn probably was. But Jim Daniels is being recognized here, and I think it's most appropriate. Jim spent 26 years in the Navy and spent time in 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And I'm not sure earned the Purple Heart's the right thing. It's one of those medals that it's nice to have, particularly if you're around and can wear it. But I don't know anybody who ever went out looking for one. But Jim got into the military early. He was born in Willis Branch, West Virginia, 1926. For you math whizzes, you can figure out how old he is. He grew up in the coal mining country, had worked for an uncle for a while, and decided that he needed a job, and the only 2 options seemed to be join the Navy or go to a coal mine. And his father was not very happy, but when he recognized that that was the option, he agreed the Navy sounded like a better of the 2 pair. So he was willing to certify that his son was of age to join, when in fact he wasn't. That's why I'm not sure about the birth date of 26, well, somewhere in there. But with his father's permission, he did join the Navy, became a CB, became an equipment operator, went into the Navy in 42, yeah, November of 42. Not a whole lot after the CB started. He operated on 7 different islands in the Pacific between 43 and 46. Did some training with the Construction Battalion Maintenance Unit 506 and left San Francisco on USS John B. Floyd in May 1st of 1943. Went to a bunch of glorious spaces that we now go to for vacation, like American Samoa. He helped build the airport, did some blasting, road grade, went to a bunch of islands. And for any of you who are true South Pacific natives, I apologize ahead of time because I know I'm going to screw up the pronunciation of these. But he went to Funafuti where he ran evaporators. Why they'd ever have an equipment operator run evaporators, I don't know. But from there he went to Nanameia where he did some more earthwork. But he also wound up doing cooking. And that apparently stuck with him forever because to this day he still cooks breakfast for a number of the social groups in the area. Then he went to Tongatabu, Nu'uapha'uta, Espiritu Santo, and New Caledonia. And so if you're ever going to go out roaming around the Pacific and you wonder where some of these places are, just give Jim a holler. In 46, he came back to the States. The war was over. His unit had been sent back because there were very few of them left that had been out there since 43. They were going to get some replacements and finish the war. Unfortunately for him, the war actually ended. He came back here in February of 46, met this beautiful wave named Ida Virginia Middaugh, and somehow or other caught her eye, and she must have appreciated what she was looking at. They met in February, and in May they were married. Jim had a 30-month stint here at Hueneme, and you'll find that he keeps coming back. That also seems to be something that happens to more than one of us. Somehow my family came back here, and 2 of our 3 kids were born here, so I was just following after Jim. He's been my leader for a long while. He was assigned to the 103rd Battalion, and about that time his son William was born in 1948. They were sent to Japan for a while. They were sent to Guam. While there, his daughter Brenda Jean was born. So that gave him a family, came back to the U.S., was assigned to the Naval Air Station in Phoenix. You think about CBs, and CBs do strange things, but they are part of the Navy, though most of them don't admit it. Why in the hell we had Navy in Phoenix, Arizona, I don't know, but we did. And it couldn't have been all bad because he got promoted to chief. He was assigned to Alpha Company with MCB-5, came back to Port Hueneme. While here, and this was the first time Jim and I met, he was here and was tapped by the Marine Corps Major. For those of you who don't know, CBs get all their military training from the Marine Corps. Each battalion has a Marine Gunnery Sergeant as part of the battalion. And in Homeport, their training is directed by Marines. So Major Smith picked Jim Daniels and said, I want you to be my leading chief. So probably to preserve the equipment, they got him off the equipment and got him teaching military training to the CBs. I'm not sure it was smart to get him off the equipment and give him machine guns and mortars and a bunch of other strange things. But Jim and his cast of characters trained an awful lot of us. From there, he joined MCB-8 in 1967. He was deployed to Jale, Vietnam, and our paths crossed again because I was the ops officer of the CB regiment at the camp at Jale. Unfortunately, one evening, we had a little mortar attack, and Jim was wounded, received the Purple Heart. Unfortunately for him, about 11 days earlier, a rocket-propelled grenade had hit his son Bill, who was in another CB battalion in Dong Ha, about 50 miles away from his dad. Jim got a chance to visit Bill aboard the hospital ship, and Bill was sent back. Unfortunately, Bill Daniels succumbed to his injuries in 1973. In '68, while we're still in Vietnam, Jim was selected for Master Chief. Unfortunately, it was Master Chief, provided you come back for another Vietnamese tour. And with his son in critical condition, Jim declined the promotion and decided to retire. So he retired as a senior chief petty officer, came back here, settled down, earned his GED, got a couple of college degrees while working for the school district in Port Hueneme. He ultimately retired as the head of maintenance. He was elected to the Port Hueneme City Council in 1986, served for 8 years, 2 of them as mayor pro tem. And in recognition of his exceptional, long and illustrious service, he's the only one I know of who was ever promoted honorarily by the head of the Navy Civil Engineers to the grade of Master Chief. So we're all proud to have Jim not have to give back or give up that coveted rank of Master Chief. In addition to his work with the school district, he got involved in almost every activity in the community. He has been a member of the Port Hueneme Chamber of Commerce, Friends of the Bar, was in the Hueneme Rotary, is now in the Oxnard Rotary, member of the Navy League, Salvation Army, Military Order of the Purple Heart, American Legion, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and God knows what else. He's obviously an avid supporter of the city of Port Hueneme, the Naval Base Ventura County, and all of the communities in our area. And it's an honor to know and to participate in recognizing Jim Daniels as one of our distinguished members.
And now I'd like to introduce Jackie Irwin.
Thank you very much, Larry, and it's great to be here. I represent the 44th Assembly District up in Sacramento, so Port Hueneme and some other clean cities. And being the chair of the Assembly Veterans Committee, it is really an honor to be here today to recognize both of you for all your outstanding work. James Daniels holds an outstanding distinction as a decorated veteran retired career officer with the United States Navy. He is distinguished former public servant in the city of Hueneme and a long-standing contributor to civic engagement and veterans organizations. I would like to congratulate James as being honored with the very, very prestigious People Making a Difference Award and commend him for his remarkable record of leadership and service. And I have this for you on behalf of the California State Assembly. Congratulations.
For being in chief, I'd like you to know that Jackie Irwin was probably the first person that called me, said she would be here for you two guys. So I'd like to mention that. And now I ask Captain Paul Grosgold to come forward.
Thanks, Larry. I want to extend regrets from Supervisor Kelly Long. She wasn't able to make it today. As you might imagine, she gets pulled in many different directions, and so you're stuck with me instead. That's okay, I won't be up here long. But Jim Daniels, what can you say? I first met then Senior Chief, now Master Chief, because he had received an honorary Master Chief designation, so he is Master Chief to me anyway. I first met him when I first came to the base back in, I don't know, the early part of this century, I think it might. But we're going to give him this resolution that was signed by all the members of the Board of Supervisors. But you know, when I read through this, and I'm not going to read all the whereases on here, which will make everyone happy, but what really jumped off the page for me here was two words jumped off of this, and this is a test. I think there might be a couple of CVs in here. So get ready, because I'm going to see if there are any CVs in here. Hoorah, CVs! Hoorah! Okay, we've got some CVs. So everybody knows what the motto of the CVs is, and it is? Can do. Can do CVs. And I think earlier we heard that he has to recharge his batteries overnight. I don't think so. Because I think the sun recharges its batteries off of Jim. And can do, I think if there is one CV that best exemplifies the can do spirit, it is absolutely Jim Daniels, Master Chief. So on behalf of Kelly Long, I'd like to present you with this resolution signed by all of the board members.
And now I'd like to introduce Jesse Ramirez again, the Oxnard Harbor Commissioner.
Thank you. The nice thing about being kind of at the last minute is that everyone already told your story, so I don't have to repeat it again. Our distinguished employee here, Hank, Donna, was going to be our presenter, because I'm not very good at presenting things. So I had to change. Once I was told that I was going to do this presentation today, I had to rearrange my schedule. And I don't know, the life of longshoreman is really weird, okay? And that's why probably most of us are divorced. Just to give you an idea, last night, yesterday I worked during the day, and in order for me to be here today, I worked last night. I got out at 2 o'clock in the morning, went home, took a shower, read the paper for 20 minutes, had some cereal, and came back and tied up the ship at 4 in the morning. So then I went home again and slept for 4 hours, and here I am. So this is how we live. Okay, we somehow our director and our port commissioners are doing a hell of a good job, because those damn ships keep coming in. And as long as they keep coming in, we keep working at them and getting that stuff out of there. So, but anyway, if I would have known that I was going to be here, Mr. Daniels, I would have brought you a box of bananas. So today you're only going to get a plaque from us, all right? As John indicated, in the old days, the Harbor District and the city of Winnipeg weren't really good friends at all. I mean, we had a lot of issues. But I guess by the fact that we get invited to give plaques now to people here in the city of Winnipeg, I guess means that I think that our relationships have improved tremendously, all right? So with that, Mr. Daniels, I have a nice plaque for you. You don't have to get up. I'll take it to you. Thank you very much. And sir, I love you because you've always been out there, and when I grew up, I want to be just like this.
And now I'd like to introduce Mayor Tom Figg.
As Jeff said, you've taken a lot of the work out of my delivery, since he's pretty much covered not only his history, but his family's history and his grandfather's history. But I'm going to give you my own version. I had the privilege of working with Jim. For those of you not know me, I'm a longtime resident of the city, and I worked for the city for 22 years. And I had the privilege during that period of time of serving both Orvine and Jim. And that was back in the days where this was a magical place. Great things happened, and it didn't happen coincidentally. It didn't happen because of staff. It happened because of the kind of leadership we once had. I'll get into that a little bit more, Orvine. I guess I'm going to be anointing you as well. I don't understand, Captain Quinn. You had 10 pages. You recited the whole thing on one. How did you do that?
I'm a slow writer.
So, but this is what I'd like to, at least from the hearts of the city, the family, to tell you. Now, therefore, it be resolved, the mayor and the city council acknowledge, congratulate, and express our deepest gratitude to Master Chief James Daniels for his service to country and dedication to community. Be it further resolved, we extend our best wishes to Master Chief Jim Daniels, in witness whereof, and this is the part I really like, this is special for me. I have set my hand to this proclamation on this 18th day of November, 2017. This may be the last opportunity I have as a mayor to be able to say how grateful I am for having the opportunity to have served you. So, with that, I'll bring this to you as well.
And now we'll have the great Commander Bill Stewart sing the CB fight song.
We're the Seabees of the Navy, we can build and we can fight. We'll pave a way to victory and guard it day and night. And we promise to remember the 7th of December. We're the Seabees of the Navy, bees of the 7 seas.
Thank you, Bill.